Hello, viewers. I'm SB,
And I'm Amabel.
and welcome back to Amabel Goes to Forex School. This one, Jon Shafer. Jon Shafer's at the gates.
You better let him in then.
Tim Shafer's a different guy. He's a different video games guy.
If he was at the gates, would you let him in?
Yeah.
Who would you rather want to hang out with? Which Shafer?
I mean, it's probably Tim. I don't, he seems.
Sorry, John.
He seems like a fun guy. Anyway, as you can see here, we're in a different game. I decided to go ahead and just restart because I think that other game was going to be Slow Starvation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially because I realized a couple of things as we were playing, and I want to sort of set us up on a better foundation here. So we got some tribes. Clan Nana has joined our tribe. They were told to come here by the trees. So these guys are wasteful woodsmen. Resource production decreased by 10%, and will suffer damage on a tile unless it has a supply level of at least 1. Isn't that always true? Right? Didn't we? Okay, whatever. And they're woodsmen, They like to...
Yeah.
They move through the woods well. They are very unhappy. -2 for... Oh, there's a leprous clan in our... Okay. We'll get there. Next clan. Clan Adalric. Yeah, we know. You don't have to say it. We'll just be off in the corner, like always. So here's the thing. They're ascetic.
Okay.
It says they never engage in feuds with other clans. They'll never commit theft or brawls. Their food consumption is halved. They cannot be trained in the social professions. They cannot be ennobled. Their mood is always content. This is what it is to be ascetic. Always content. They cannot be ennobled. Ennobling a clan, of course, costs 10 fine cloth and 10 armor. It gives them a permanent mood bonus and also extra fame per turn. Some advanced professions are noble, meaning that the clans can only be trained in them if they are ennobled. And also they're leprous. They make everybody sad. So these people are not going to be a settled profession.
Yeah.
And then Pharamond is paranoid. That's the old paranoid Pharamoid. That's what they call him. +1 vision range, but -1 move point. So kind of a weird set of scouting traits. Pretty tough, though. -1 move point is unfortunately pretty bad for a military unit.
Yeah.
Tough and paranoid really don't play well together. I guess we could set them up in a watchtower somewhere. But okay, so that seems like a bad setup, just kind of generally. Before we go training anything, we can see we got some livestock around. We have some sheep here represented. This is the amount of sheep in the tile is represented as a turn value. This is 20 turns of sheep.
Okay.
If we were to construct a sheep pasture on them, then that would add the sheep to our stockpile, which allows us to trade them. Okay, this is systems. We'll get there. We also have here a beehive in a tree. It's kind of hard to tell if that's what's going on there, but that tree's full of honey, I think, and way more trees in general. This I think is a very important thing. So my number one thought here is that Clan Adalric, we need to have somebody out gathering wood, and this might be a good thing for Clan Adalric to do. The clan that is bad at resource production but good at moving through the woods could be hunters or something, or scouts. I mean, scouts already, explorers can already move through woods for free, right? So I guess we're not getting the value out of that. But it feels to me like these guys are more in the honor track, since they don't produce resources efficiently. Right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then I don't know what we'll do with you. We're gonna need some explorers, so I guess this could also be our explorer group. It's interesting that leprous makes everybody else unhappy, but it has no other negative effect. you might expect that it might affect the health of the unit
Yeah.
themselves in some way. It's a very odd view of leprosy. So I don't know. Somebody's got to be a wood collector. Somebody's got to be an explorer. Those are the things we need first. I'm kind of inclined to set up wood collector first, honestly. We can already see a number of resources around us that we need, and we know you need a ton of wood to do anything now. So that seems important. In addition, I might... Well, wood collectors can already... They can forage. How do you get the ability to make a... How do you get the ability to make a wood collecting structure? We had that from somebody last time. Is that just a thing that all wood collectors can do naturally? It doesn't seem like it.
Forest and
Right, 'cause they have forage. Loggers.
Loggers.
Loggers. Okay, so let's maybe train discovery. So we'll give somebody 2 free levels in discovery. That'll allow us to set them up as an explorer very efficiently after the wood collector's done, and then we'll get the other thing.
Okay.
I think that's my plan. So we don't have vision of anybody else's territory. We're certainly not like cut off into a small, low resource peninsula. So I think that's going to help a lot.
Yeah.
We have a filthy and boisterous clan joining us here. Your people take their shoes off when entering their huts. Strange. So fame production increased by 1/4. Okay, and there's a lot of reason that they might engage in a mild feud with a clan. So again, maybe not the best people to have settled. All right, I think we are... Fame production doesn't really seem like the explorer. Like, who's going to be our explorer? It feels like a little bit of a waste on these guys because it doesn't, explorers get this movement stuff for free.
Yeah.
But I certainly don't like -1 move point on my explorers. I don't think it would be taking advantage of the fame at all. We're just going to have to get it slightly non-optimal somewhere, right?
Yeah. Do you want to just go with the wasteful one?
It's probably fine for these guys to be the explorers. Okay, so they'll train up very quickly once we're done with the other thing. And then we can start working toward logging, or like we have animals nearby. How do you interact with sheep by default? Like, what is the class of person that we want? Harvested for meat by a hunter or parchment and cloth by a trapper. Because we definitely want to be able to interact with these animals that are around here. Meat cutters allow us to just turn animals into food directly, which obviously is a thing we're going to need. And we're going to need it, relatively soon as we keep gaining clans. There's no other, like, super obvious source of food. I guess the honey.
Which is in the agriculture tree, I think.
Yeah, honey is a thing of gatherers. And I think they don't really need anything. They can forage just fine. So maybe we take livestock and get somebody set up on the livestock. So Amabel.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of something smart to say.
Clan Baldric has joined. Wasteful but adventurous. Wants an active profession Move point and vision range, cannot dig in or encamp. Well, that's a pretty good scouting clan. I sure wish we hadn't just given away our free points of scouting, you know?
Probably they also have a cunning plan.
You think so?
Yeah, everyone who gets that reference, comment, like, and subscribe.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead. Do the calls to action. All right, who's going to become...
Patreon.com/
Who's going to become livestock people? You can become livestock people, maybe. Right? Or you guys... I feel like these guys make a fine livestock people.
Okay.
So let's go explorer for you. And I'm going to start studying... Do you want to lean in on being able to build the ranch, or... We have some minerals nearby that we need to care about. Surveyors can identify any kind of source of resources. Boy, that's written strangely. I assume there's an error here. Can identify any kind of source of resources, open parentheses, unidentified plants, period. Paragraph break.
Yeah.
The rest of the unidentified things are probably supposed to be there. So that's interesting. These guys require tools. They'd be awfully useful, but they require tools. Let's grab crafting. We're kind of doing a lot of stuff right now, I know, but we're going to need a lot of stuff. It turns out it takes things to operate a society. So, Amabel, what do you think about this this methodology for unlocking the other playable clans where you have to meet them and either ally with them or take them over?
You know, I really would have to see it in action more to have a real strong feeling. Mm-hmm. I don't get the impression from what we scrolled through that there are huge differences between the factions. I don't know, though. We won't know until we do that, and it might take a hot minute.
It's a Roman fort from the Eastern Roman Empire.
Okay.
Full of a Roman legion. All right, for right now, you can just forage. Each turn spent foraging will produce 2 timber. This clan will spend turns it has enough supply foraging and automatically encamp on turns where it doesn't. Okay, yeah, forage safely. So one thing I did notice is that we are, if we mouse over like this tile here, it doesn't say it anymore. This was cold on our first turn. I guess you start pretty early in the year, right? But I think we're a lot closer. We're a lot further north than we were last time. All our crops died. Probably bad soil or something. They've got a brown thumb. Trading time. They're bad at agriculture. Don't want to be agriculture. There's no reason to make them be in agriculture. What they're good at is livestock. So we can absolutely have them do livestock stuff instead of these guys, I guess.
So let me ask you what you think of this, because this is reminding me of a type of game that you showed me on stream with the oxygen not included. Did I get the name right that time?
Yeah.
Okay. Where you have all these individual characters with traits, things they like and don't like. You have to kind of manage that. And
yeah, and you're sort of like building objects up a tech tree. Yeah, this has a lot of elements of survival games in it, and it is kind of interesting because of the time when it entered development. It's hard to say what systems, came when. But it does feel like in some ways it might be a little bit ahead of its time, honestly.
That does bring up something I wanted to ask you. In pretty much every other 4X game you've shown me, which are games that are within the last 5-10 years.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
there are missions that kind of point you towards things, and we're not really seeing that here. But this started development, you know, 2010ish, 2012, whenever.
Yeah.
So,
So,
like, how common was that kind of structure to
so I mean,
4X
Civ
games?
doesn't really have that kind of stuff, right?
I guess it doesn't.
Even now, Civ doesn't really. Holy hell, that music is so loud. Why is that music so loud? We met Emperor Valens. Yeah, the that kind of stuff doesn't really exist in Civ even today. And this is, a Civ developer.
Okay.
I don't know. At this point, you have enough knowledge that you don't need to keep asking me how common things are, I think.
Well, I was asking.
You can just know it.
I was asking more like where did that kind of structure, like when did that originate within 4X games?
Well, I mean, I think it's considerably more common in the ones that aren't historical themed,
Okay.
and there it's fantasy stuff. Fantasy stuff has quests in it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like it's useful. It definitely has utility as a way of guiding the player, and stuff like that. But I don't think that was the I don't think
Yeah.
that's how it started. All right, we got some medals over here. Oh, we got some more bandits. So this is a pair of bandits. We might need some combat clans. We just picked up Clan Everard. They are afraid of animals. Their power versus mounted units is halved. They're like really afraid of animals. But they are strong and they do have a power bonus. They don't want to be working discovery, but honestly, they're pretty good at a lot of other things. -1 turn to train in the warrior professions, but power halved against mounted units. It's certainly interesting. So I'm not sure if the bandits will run out to attack scouting units. This bandit is, and I guess let's see. I'll leave my explorer in a kind of an open area and see what happens. Getting a little too close to my territory. It is interesting that, like, to respect someone's borders, even just to be, like, nice to your neighbor is -1 reputation.
Yeah.
That's a strange view of the idea of reputation. I don't see any reason necessarily to degrade our relationship. Man does have a lot of enemies. The Eastern Roman Empire. So maybe we don't have to worry so much. I guess I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna not like.
It's
not
not
gonna-
like his units have 30 times the strength of yours.
We're not gonna grovel or give him gifts or anything, but it seems like you use a lot of wood. It seems like wood is like tremendously important. I'm gonna buy all the timber that this caravan has. And then I have tools. Tools seem important. Weapons are probably important. It's basically just like kind of a lot of the same moves we made last time. So we're about to finish training loggers. What do we still need? We have a wood collector. We still need hunters. Still need at least one hunter. So who is... Like, these guys are probably just someone settled, right? Like, it's a little annoying that they might get into a feud. I don't really even know what that means as far as resolution goes. A special kind of desire that two clans develop together. When this occurs, both clans will stop dropping in mood until you punish one of them. Most of the time, it makes the most strategic sense to punish the less useful clan. But what you do is a question of conscience for you alone.
All right.
I think I do kind of want to make Clan Everard our military clan. So let's train someone else at Gathering. And when I say someone else, these guys have crafting too. I thought they had livestock. Did I click crafting onto them? Guess I must have. I mean, we could just make them a hunter, even without the discipline boost, because they have the -1 turn -1 turn training time. So I guess that's what we'll do.
They're scared of animals. You're making them hunters.
Well, I'm making them hunters of men.
Okay.
Listen, I can't make them proper military units yet. We don't have that idea. The only person we can militarize against right now is the sheep. But soon we will all understand what is at stake. All right, so in order to train these guys as loggers, which is what I really want them to be doing, I think we have to bring them back home. So you're sad. Oh, right, because we gotta get you out of... I brought the lepers back home. All right, your deal was you were going to survey this stuff. You are going to enter the settlement temporarily. We're going to train you as a logger, which is going to take a second, but it's happening. And then once they're loggers, they probably don't have to come back to town again. Not for a very long time. There's lots of places where they can do logging.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to start studying, I don't know, maybe like proper military? We have the weapons necessary to create some like archers. And the bandits did not, in fact, think it was necessary to come out and fight us. So the Explorer does not naturally have... There were some special movement rules for the Explorer, weren't there? They're not listed here. But...
Yeah, I don't remember.
But I'm pretty sure.
Would it be under professions?
Yeah, see, the problem is professions is like... It's not a subcategory, it's the rules about professions. Units, maybe? Does it take us to? It doesn't. Yeah, I actually don't know how to reach... I guess, okay, one way that I know we can reach the screen is by going here. They can cross rough terrain like hills and forests easily. That's what it says. Our man did not... He did, in fact, lose all of his movement points entering into here, though. It might be the heavy rain. No, explorers are not immune to the effects of weather. It doesn't say anything explicitly about weather on the Explorer card, so I guess there's no reason to think that they would have different rules around that stuff. All right, a new clan has joined. Clan Aren't. They are ascetic and adventurous. Okay.
No, they aren't.
It's a solid contribution. Amabel.
I'm trying.
Supply is critical.
Well, that's trouble.
This tile is a marsh. It does provide 1 supply to units. I thought 1 supply was enough. Unless it has a supply level of at least 1, which this one does. It says 1 supply from terrain. Maybe the tooltip for wasteful is wrong and it means more than 1 supply? Because it doesn't make a lot of sense being what it is, right?
No, it doesn't.
The enemy will be left virtually unscathed. They have 8 defense power because they're double dug in. All right, well. We can see here that we're getting supply warnings on these tiles too. Although the supply warnings could be a little clearer. So 3 small green cubes means 2 supply. 3 large red cubes means 1 supply. So three cubes is the icon for supply generally as a concept. And then small green is like a little bit good, and big red is it's very bad actually.
I think they might want to rethink their iconography there, but
yeah, no, they're doing some bad work here for sure. Well, I mean, you guys love moving around and seeing things, and congratulations, I guess, on your military discipline. Okay, so archers require weapons to train. We have some weapons. It just so happens. Okay, we're about to be able to kick our loggers back out of the settlement. I'm just hoping nobody freaks out during the time that we are training them. So everybody's got a lot of big red frowny faces everywhere. It does feel like it takes a tremendous number of turns to set up anything in any way, right?
Yeah, no, the pace of the game is
Glacial.
excruciating.
Excruciating is a word. All right, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not like I am so here for some of the things that this is doing or trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
But man, this is just maybe it's because I'm not hearing the music. Maybe there's some rockin' tunes going on that's really driving the action. But
1 turn until our logger is finished.
because I have a lot of problems with. Maybe problems is a strong word. There are a lot of ways in which the genre and I do not overlap.
Sure.
And this is addressing some of them. But the pacing is also one of them. And it is not addressed.
Okay, Clan Adalric is now a logger. So, what we learned last time is that loggers set up a little logging camp, and the logging camp generates food not just from the tile that it is on, but also adjacent tiles if they have forest on them. So we have some pretty good setup locations over here. All right, somebody's got to go out of the settlement and start gathering. And it might be y'all for, just for the moment. I don't know. This is probably not a permanent assignment, but somebody's got to go get like some of that honey just so that we can have food income while we're continuing to set a bunch of things up. We're going to get our livestock under control as well, and that's definitely a thing that's going to happen. That's a player unit up there. I will say, because you can't hear it, just to let you know, the soundtrack is like very sparse. There's not diegetic music at all. There's sort of like ambient. Sorry, I don't mean there's not diegetic music at all. I mean there's no like background music.
Okay.
There are little music stings that are attached to specific events, but for the most part, it's just like ambient nature sounds. So, Clan Godefroy has joined us. They are sensitive and reclusive. They cannot be trained in social professions. They would like to be in an active profession very much. All right, there are certainly lots of active professions for them to get into. We're just continuing to look around. Okay, we have found the coast and a whole bunch of peoples. So this is just like a tiny little minor faction. It's worth noting this wheat farm belongs to the Varini, while this other one, this settlement here, belongs to the Cotini. So not the same player, I think?
Yeah.
Or not to be understood as the same player. All right. So how do we want to deal with our livestock? We can have trappers go out and turn them into parchment or cloth, or we can have meat cutters. Meat cutters only work on animals that have been added to the stockpile. So if we want to do that thing, we need to start with ranchers.
Why don't we do some ranching then?
All right. Yeah, we'll see how that works out. We can expect a balmy winter, Amabel. That's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Eastern Rome guys. Here comes a Roman legion. Presumably not to murder me. There would not be very much reason to murder me, certainly.
You did tell him to fuck off, though.
No, I said we had a disagreement. I did not choose the one that was like, fuck off. Because there is an option like that, and I intentionally didn't take it. So, I don't, this bandit, I think, is after us. So, I'm going to back up. Probably the Roman Legion guys are more of a threat to the bandits than they are to us, right? I think that would make some sense.
One would hope.
We don't have very much treasure, unfortunately. We do have some sheep in our stockpile right now, and we could sell those sheep. 1 sheep from your stockpile is automatically turned into 4 food if the tribe is starving. Okay. So I'm assuming the meat cutter would do it at a more efficient rate. But I guess then maybe we can just... I was going to say so that we could buy wheat. But if we have 12 food worth of sheep already, maybe we don't need to go doing such a thing. You know?
Yeah.
So my thinking was we would turn this guy into an archer. We have just enough weapons to make a proper archer. And we can use them to fight some bandits off and stuff, because we sure could use some defense. Here come the legions, and the bandit does what in response? Okay, they fought. Alright, you are going to forage us up some honey. Is it okay for me to stand where you are? We're not technically at war, I don't think. But maybe for safety's sake, I should just have our log over here. And then over here we have another tiny little settlement. The Jats. Made up of five clans, including a lancer. It's pretty fancy stuff. And over here, another player who we don't really know. I don't think we've actually met anybody except the Romans this time. Okay, we can move on to their settlement with our non-military unit, and that's fine. They don't regard that as a hostile movement. It is interesting to have units belonging to more than one player on one tile at once. Obviously, that's a thing that Civ 5 did not allow.
Yeah.
Civ 5 did not allow more than one unit per tile in most situations, and that was something people were in a little bit of an uproar about that when it came out. They did not like that. See, these tiles have bad supply, though. It'll get better. I guess this tile's just as good. There's 4 forested tiles around here, and there would be 4 forested tiles around that as well, since it's backed up against the mountains. Let's have our hunter come down and identify this stuff.
Yeah.
And our archer can go out and threaten the rest of these bandits. Ooh, hey, look at that. Some kind of wreckage. What is wreckage exactly? The destroyed remains of a once useful structure. Not the kind of thing that an explorer searches, apparently. And yeah, up here we're starting to see colder terrain. So, provides fewer points of supply by default. These values are modified when a tundra tile also contains rough terrain or is affected by cold or weather. Okay. Another new clan has joined up because we needed to feed more mouths. The rivermen here can enter tiles with streams, and treasure production from constructed trading posts is increased by half. Well, I think we know exactly what we want to do with you then.
I would say you already have seen more of the map
Yeah, for sure.
than we did in the previous.
Clan Gerhold has expressed interest in switching into a profession in livestock. You got it. Become a rancher. Okay. And then, once they're ranched, then we want to be able to meat cut them.
Yeah,
Just
cut
like in
that
a
meat.
rom-com.
What?
You know, in a rom-com. It's at the beginning of the movie, you know, they run into each other and one of them drops all their books.
And then,
It's like a meat cut.
damn it. Damn, sweetie.
It's early November. It's getting like properly cold. But because this is inside of our control area, I'm hoping that it will remain hospitable enough. I'm going to go identify these guys. And you. So we have even odds here. Or even values. The enemy is left rattled, your army bloodied and sore. I don't have a way of overcoming the penalties, right? I don't have a way of overcoming, like, there's no offensive bonuses to be generated to overcome the dug in.
Yeah.
And healing is like a pain in the ass. What if I just move up next to them? Okay, well, there's a lot of little settlements around here. A lot of little tiny settlements. I guess the idea is that this is like to motivate you to play militarily. If you can conquer the settlements, then this is good for you.
Okay, that makes sense.
Maybe. You say that makes sense, but it is guesswork, to be clear.
Yeah, but the guess seems sensible.
Identify this deposit of living animals.
You know, if you had told me when I was a kid that one of my jobs could be identifying what animal a thing is, I would have fucking killed it. I would have been like, all right, that's what I'm getting into.
So, okay, you can besiege an enemy army to reduce the amount of supply available on its tile by 1 per turn that you have spent sieging them. Unless a catapulter is involved, a tile's supply can be reduced by no more than 1 per turn, regardless of how many clans are part of the siege. But your army, the besieging army, must contain more warrior clans than the enemy army, which at the moment is not the case. Also, that forest is getting hard to survive in. You can see our supply is getting critical in many places. I can't believe it takes 4 turns to identify a deposit. Like, it really does feel like this game is interested in, like, burning your time.
Yeah, and we have this set at a time scale where each turn is like 2 weeks. So that guy is spending 2 months
Yeah.
finding out what animal that is. And let me tell you, it does not take that long.
I discovered iron. Well, I would love to forage it. Forage it safely. In camp when you can't just gather correctly. And I guess we'll just have the archer hang out. You guys are not the types that can't be together. So, yeah, I guess for right now, this archer's plan is to just hang out, keep our resource gatherer safe. Try to get out of the dangerous forest area. Okay, so we have our woodcutting settlement set up, and look at that. 5 wood income per turn. 5 timber per turn. That's enough to actually do something.
Hooray!
Yeah. I agree with you.
It only took how many turns to get to that point?
Yeah, I mean, it's a few for sure. So we should probably figure out how to work with this metal. We found an iron deposit, so we can, in theory, make tools. Although, obviously, to some degree, we're talking about surviving the winter before doing anything else. I'm not 100% sure how well set up we are for that. Winter is like 10 turns, we would expect. And most food sources dry up as it becomes properly winter. We are led to understand. I don't actually know how much of an effect it's going to have on honey production. I am not an apiarist. I don't know how bees behave in the winter.
I stay away from bees generally, so I don't.
Clan Relindis has joined us. They get cheaper movement into snow tiles, and they are obedient. Experience gained in all disciplines is halved. Never has desires, never engages in feuds, no extra training time for switching. Kind of not anything, really. Their flavor is a lack of flavor. Somebody gets to receive +2 levels in metalworking. Who is going to be our metalworker? You want to be settled. You want to be a trader specifically. And then the other 2 want to be settled. I'm going to give it to Fairmont. We haven't figured out what we want to do with Fairmont yet.
Okay.
So, we don't have a rancher. And I guess you could be the rancher. Training time halved for active professions. Yeah. I know, but we had plans for people and then things got all screwed up because we had a couple of things that we needed done that we didn't have the right people for.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are a rancher. Wait, did I just... Yeah, rancher is not what I... Sorry, what am I doing? We have a rancher already. We need somebody to be a meat cutter, and that is a settled profession, so that is not...
Okay.
That is not your thing. Settled profession... I guess they didn't make it Relindis?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they should be fine at it.
Should be obedient meat cutters.
They should do it because we told them to do it. Okay. Yeah, you are unable to encamp. If no movement points have been spent yet this turn. Ah, but you cannot encamp because of your adventurous trait. I really appreciate that. That when you're not allowed to do something, it's very clear with you, like,
Yeah.
what the actual issue is.
Good job.
Thanks, video game. So if you can't encamp here, then we may have to withdraw you to friendly territory for the extra supply. Our explorer might have to do the same, might have to shelter south a little bit here. I don't know, like, you're probably fine here, right? This clan requires 1 supply, but ended its previous turn on a tile with less. I don't think that's true. This tile provides 3 supplies, so if the clan remains here, they'll be fine. Okay. Just chill out there. I don't want to spend your last point of movement. And then in theory, you know, eventually we'll want some blacksmiths. I don't know that this is the most important thing right this second, but I guess I also don't know what would be more important. We could set up a trader. Setting up trading posts on junctions where small rivers meet one another or a body of water. We don't really see a lot of small rivers. Like I guess there's a small river here. But that's it. We don't...
Yeah, it's not really relevant to us.
Yeah, which is a shame because we have a person who like basically wants this goal. Lore keepers produce knowledge. We are currently producing 4 knowledge per turn. So to gain a person who is outputting 6 knowledge per turn would be a pretty huge increase.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Having a guide in the settlement would increase the production of all foragers by half, but we don't know that we don't know whether we will have horses yet or not. We're gathering iron. Weavers allow us to make cloth from wool or flax. Weavers produce fame, or wood carvers produce fame from timber.
All right.
Boy, there's a lot of like little like you need wood splitters and block cutters and brick makers and stone carvers and wood bundlers and coopers and potters, all different things. On your way up to, you know, your luthiers and your dyers. Man, it does feel like there's a lot of like weird little things.
Yeah.
Glass blowers spend coal to increase your production of alcohol and non-meat foods. The idea being that you can jar them now, I guess.
That makes sense, I guess.
I don't know. It's probably a good idea to learn how to mine so we don't have people just raw foraging. It feels like raw foraging is like the bargain basement way of interacting with every resource. Like a thing to do when you're desperate and or don't know any better. So we haven't gotten to see much military play here. But what's your feeling on this so far, Amabel?
On the military aspect?
No, the game as a whole.
I
I just bring up the military stuff because it's, you know, it's the aspect that I feel like we have the least vision through to.
It seems very...
So we want to build a pasture, but we're going to have to wait on timber.
It seems very fiddly in a lot of ways. It seems very... there's a lot of squeeze going on, and I'm waiting for the juice.
Mm-hmm.
I really like things like depleting resources. I really like things like having internal desires and conflicts within your political body. The implementation, though, the pacing of it, and the number of jobs.
Oh, hold on a second. Some very loud music just came through. That was really strange. It was like it was almost a military. It sounded honestly, it sounded like somebody banging two trash cans together, kind of far away from the microphone. I think it was supposed to be like war drums, because war were declared.
All right.
I guess, dude, you win. Like, if you're actually trying to fight me, you win. I have an archer, and you have the Roman legions, who will presumably just annihilate us.
Yeah, I presume.
All right, you got to get inside of the territory so you are not dying terribly here. Winter's harsh. Winter seems harsh. So, like, you're talking about liking the ideas of resource depletion and stuff. How do you feel about a resource that takes 60 turns to deplete?
Yeah, that for me that feels too slow to really have meaning. Like one difference.
In a lot of ways, that resource effectively does not deplete for you because it's hard for you to imagine yourself being there for 60 turns.
Well, there's that, but like, you know, you and I play a lot of strategy board games, which have a very different number of turns, very different approach to respecting the player's time. Maybe respect's the wrong word there, but
I know what you mean.
The decisions are very sharp, where the difference between one of a thing or two of a thing is pretty substantial. Whereas here, in these games, because you're always accumulating all these things and partial points of things, like the way the numbers work, I don't feel the same kind of trade-offs in these games.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like resource depletion, I think absolutely should be part of these games, but when it takes 60 turns to get there, that feels yeah, it just feels a little shapeless because it is happening so slowly and so predictably as well. You know, if it was a thing where there is a chance for, at the end of each turn, for the resource to go for production to deplete.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's producing 5 a turn, and then there is a die roll made each turn, and now it's going to be 4 per turn. That gives me a little more juice than 60 turns, it depletes to half, and then 60 more turns, it depletes all the way. And it's like, there's too many turns. I feel like any game that has 60 turns is too many turns for me.
Yeah, I mean, well, like the turn I took just now, right, was like a couple seconds long. There's not really a lot of decisions being made.
Yeah, I'd rather have fewer turns with more decisions, and I'd rather those decisions be less granular. Even having the detail of these clans want to do this thing and those clans want to do that thing.
Mm-hmm.
There have to be ways to do that aren't about individually moving units on a map. I mean, I think there needs to be a way. In some ways, it still feels too tied for me to the way Forex games typically work.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep coming back to the pacing, but like I'm really, I am struggling.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
Like, strategy games are long and they can be slow, and like we're talking about, you know, 60 turns to this or whatever, but like this is a game that you for sure are intended to play like a few hundred turns of. But just to put it very simply, and I'm a little bit ashamed. I feel like this is something that's wrong with me, but just to put it very simply, like, I'm bored. This is fucking boring.
I'm also bored, and like, I hate to say this.
Will refuse to attack enemy armies. Morale reduced by 3/4. +1 move point. It's like juggling all these little things. Like, Go ahead. Say the thing you're going to say, and then
Do we have to do 3 episodes of this?
that's a little.
I'm having trouble with us with.
I hear ya. It doesn't help that it, for whatever weird, fucked up technical reason, it's forcing us to record in a way that's very different from our normal recording setup. But yeah, it does make you want to sort of hurry on.
This room is substantially warmer than my basement.
Yeah, I
and
know.
so I am actually.
There's a lot of computer equipment in here.
My focus is I'm having trouble not fainting. So I'm a little I'm worried about actually fainting at the moment from how warm and dizzy I feel. So maybe I'm not giving the game a fair shake there, but it does feel when I kept saying shapeless before, I think what I meant was boring. I don't feel momentum.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I'm and it's a shame because I do in theory like the ideas, and I do think a lot of the problems I have with the genre, which maybe not the problems other people have with it, would be addressed by a more thoughtful approach that is more model forward. But you can't, there's that quote from George Box I come back to again and again, which is that all models are wrong, but some are useful.
Yeah.
But the other part of the quote that Box says is that you cannot get a more accurate model by being more detailed necessarily. And so going into like really deep detail of the thing does not make it better. And so I think having a stronger approach to modeling, a more modeling oriented approach to the design, I think you absolutely can do things in this space, but it cannot be this granular or this glacial for me.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some super fan. If you're a Jon Shafer's at the Gate super fan, who's not Jon Shafer,
if you're Jon Shafer and you're watching this, get in touch. Like, let's talk.
And we're sorry for being too harsh.
I don't want to come across as a jerk. I would love to do an interview with Jon Shafer.
Yeah.
But I
because I come at it from a very different place than you do.
Yeah.
And from a place where I, as not just as a designer, but as a board game publisher, if I get submitted a game that is as detailed as this, as the pace is like this, and I do get those sometimes, like they do not move forward. For me, and that'd be true of any kind of like 4X level game for me as a board game publisher. So I'm already coming at it from a very different perspective than someone like you who you enjoy these games.
Yeah.
But you're not having fun right now.
I am not. So the caravan showed up again. We don't really have any money. I was kind of hoping that we'd be able to sell some stuff off, but you can't just bundle off food as a bulk resource. We produced a shit ton of food for a second there because of the meat cutter. We had those 3 sheep.
Yeah.
And now we're in a point where like our food supply feels like it is forever. And we're about to have more sheep, and that's going to keep getting better. And like the apiarist is keeping us north of replacement by herself, and then with all the extra stuff, like so we can increase our clan limit. Clicking this button will spend 5 cloth and raise your support limit by +6. Once you reach certain, we're getting new clans in every certain amount of fame. And we can expand and stuff. And there are a couple of different ways to win the game. I believe we saw that thing about the one way to win. Conquering the capital city of one of the 2 Roman Empire factions is the other one.
Okay.
Eastern and western halves of the previously whole in better days Roman Empire. but the only way to win is to become Rome,
Yeah.
which is
I
I guess
mean,
a kind of an interesting definition of win for me.
yeah, but I mean, so a lot of these Germanic peoples, like during these times of migrations, they absolutely want to be part of the Roman Empire. They wanted to have the stability that came with that. They wanted to have access to the stuff Rome had. Um, and so that absolutely would be the kind of thing that they'd be after. And, after the Western Empire, the city of Rome fell, it was like a quote unquote barbarian kingdom for quite some time. And a lot of one kind of tension in the Italian parts of Rome is that you had a lot of these people did have the kind of Arianism flavor of Christianity, and the Pope had declared that heretical. So it was a lot of negotiation there because they were very tied to this kind of thing, and it really was those people coming into Rome and integrating with society that kept Arianism alive for like a couple hundred years after the Council of Nicaea.
We got ourselves some score for building a structure. Interestingly, the score is described as being in your stockpile. Like our sheep. These sheep are in our stockpile. So yeah, like in answer to your question, as asked, yeah, I mean we can bounce on this if you feel like we've seen enough. There's certainly there's certainly more arc, right, to be had.
Sure.
But
How slow is that arc, though?
yeah, I like I say, I share the concern.
I'll say this, Jon Shafer, if you're listening, if you finish the game, and I know it's as you were telling me, sweetheart, during the first episode, it might feel like a wound, but if you finish it, we'll come back to it.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll make that deal.
yeah. All right. Sure. Tools make things. What's your deal? You're craven and wasteful. Whatever. Like it's kind of interesting theoretically that you have all these people and they're all good at certain things and bad at certain things. You're trying to solve this this puzzle of how do I with this group of people and these group of things that I want them to be doing, assign jobs to make most efficient production. It does feel very much like a survival game thing in that multi-character survival kind of
Yeah.
vibe, like you were saying, something like an Against the Storm or an Oxygen Not Included, or I don't really know what the other games in that space are as well, because it's not a type of game I particularly enjoy, and that maybe explains to a certain degree some of my apathy here, is that it does feel like that.
Yeah.
And I like the idea generally of the tech tree being what it is, because the game is focused over such a tight time period. You're not teching from pikes to spaceships. You're just like developing the ability to turn resources into other resources by getting intermediaries, or learning how to make a tool or something.
It's like a Rosenberg game.
It's like a cool, yeah, it is, it's Rosenbergy, sure. And it is a cool, I don't know, I like the design in theory a lot more than I like it in practice.
Yeah. I think there are things can be done with these ideas that I would like to see develop further.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess that's going to be it. That's gonna be
Sorry.
it for us for today. Like, what do you think about there being a player in the game whose role is to lose? Like the Roman Empire factions start strong, and then they start strong, but they're at war with almost everybody. And it said in the menu, various calamities befall them over the course of the game. It's like this player who exists in your game only to get progressively weaker until you can climb atop their corpse.
Yeah,
Is that interesting? I kind of, to a certain extent, I kind of feel like in a normal 4X, when I'm playing against an AI, if it's a well tuned AI, let's say it's a ELCP Endless Legend AI, I'm playing against an opponent who is getting stronger and better at winning the game, stronger and better at beating me, and my role is to figure out a way to do that faster than they're doing it.
So I think the thing is I think that could be interesting. Maybe not for me as a player, but as someone observing. I think structurally is kind of interesting, especially you are if you are competing with other players at your level to be the one who takes over the corpse, right? I think that kind of thing could be interesting. I'm not sure
I don't believe
how
that
it,
is what's happening here, though, right?
I'm not sure. Yeah,
I think you're the only player who is trying to become Rome.
yeah, and I think that yeah, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure, sweetheart, because I
To a certain extent, it almost feels like a score attack game in that sense. Like
okay.
the only thing to try from run to run is to try to do it faster than you did it last time.
Yeah.
Number it more good than you previously did. Yeah, I don't know. That's something. I don't. That's gonna be it for us for today and for Jon Shafer's at the Gates. Thank you all so much for watching. It's like I say, I think it's an interesting curio in the history of the genre, and I really do wish that he had been in a position where he could have sort of come at it more thoroughly, where he could have given it both barrels, because I really do want to see. I do wish that I could see what it would have developed into had he been able to focus on it full time until he was actually done with whatever his design was. Although it sounds like he got caught behind some pretty ugly scope creep, and making video games is impossible. When you come back next time, we'll be on to the next thing, a thing that is complete in the sense that video games are complete these days, which is to say that content is being released for it constantly. There's like 12 expansions, and they're releasing more every couple of months. And that's it's going to be a whole thing unto itself. But more people are excited about that one. I know people have been asking for it. Come back next time to see what I'm talking about, and we'll see you then.